Don't you think we could be different if we could just take it slow, let it go, roll down all the windows, feel the wind rush through, hear the music, take the groove. Don't you know all I'll ever really wanna be is a connected high, you and I, pinnacle climactic vibe. Show me yours, I'll show you mine, you don't have to pretend we're shy. Let's forget the 9 to 5, I just wanna feel alive. Take it slow, let it go, roll down all the windows. Show me yours, I'll show you mine, you don't have to pretend you're shy. Take it slow, let it go. Let's take a trip to uptown. Don't you wish we could be out of sight, out of mind? Take my hand, go slow. I'm just in the afterglow. Dance with me while the beat finally got some clarity. Don't you know all I'll ever really wanna be is a connected high. You and I, pinnacle climactic vibe. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. You don't have to pretend we're shy. Let's forget the world outside, turn it up to overdrive. Take it slow, let it go. Roll down all the windows. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. You don't have to pretend you're shy. Take it slow, let it go. Take it slow, let it go. Take it slow, let it go. Let it go.
Hello, 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 world. Welcome to another episode of the Tater-talks podcast. I am your host, Tater-talks, Tater, as usual. And once again, welcome, where we blend mental health, spirituality, and gaming into conversations that inspire and support fellow gamers and people like you. Today, we're going to be talking about how online gaming can actually benefit our mental health. Did you know that at least 77% of gamers say gaming has improved their mental health well-being? Let's dive into the reasons why today. So come along as we chat along with our panel here, and let's get down to business. Of course, before we kick off here, I want to welcome our lovely people here. Back again. We have Zeph. Zeph, how you doing this week? You're muted. Get your life together.
Hey, you told me to mute the mic. I muted the mic. I'm doing good, man. Almost done with the work week, so back at it. How are you
Yes,
doing?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's downhill. It's downhill Thursday. All right. Let's.
Hmm.
I've been all right. Been just currently getting plans ready for the summer. Of course, with traveling. So far it looks on the board here. I'll be traveling to Texas, Oklahoma, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So we're very excited with the progress of the planning because it's a lot of logistics that come with it. What about you, man? Anything interesting this week? Anything crazy? Anything No. What?
I'm a dad to a 2-month-old, so
Yeah.
not a whole lot except for dirty diapers.
I see you surrounded by plushies. That's
Always,
definitely not lacking. Anyway,
always.
coming back after unfortunately not feeling well. We're very glad that she is back to normal. Miss Bella, how are you this week?
I'm doing pretty good, actually.
Oh yeah. Anything interesting going on?
No,
Eh,
I mean, there's drama happening, but like the whole world doesn't need to know about drama happening in the discords. So, but other than that, like it's been a good week. I took my mushrooms this morning. So, like they're lion's mane mushrooms. They help my brain fog.
I was gonna
So,
say, before anybody says anything, they're not those kind of mushrooms.
they're lion's mane mushrooms. They're not the trippy kind. They just I do get brain fog because I do take antidepressants,
Yeah.
and the antidepressants do cause me to have brain fog. So the lion's mane helps me combat that. So I make sure to take them when I know I need my brain functioning.
Still just the first panic of, oh, I took mushrooms today. Oh, is that
Yeah.
okay? Oh.
People who know Bella, you know, they know about my mushrooms because it's the only thing that I found that has helped. So it helps me. That's what matters. And it's plant based and non trippy. So
Yeah. Still, I'm like,
It's not pharmaceutical based.
yeah,
exactly.
they're
Um,
they're the type of mushrooms you could just like eat like in your regular food. So like you could put them on a burger and have a burger for like instead of a Swiss burger, a mushroom and Swiss. You could have, you know, instead of whatever mushrooms they use, you can use lion manes instead.
it
It's
just
fun.
meant that just I don't know why, but when you did that, it just reminded me of that vine of if you want a burger, get you a burger. If you want a French fry, get you a French fry.
Okay, you said let's get down to business, and my mind went to defeat
Oh God.
the Huns.
So I'm definitely glad to have you both here, guys. This is our first episode where we're gonna have the full podcast, like the full panel here. Okay, full scope, everything ready to go. Um, so let's go ahead and kick it off here. Have you ever thought about how gaming has impacted your mental health or helped you connect with others?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Um, Online gaming isn't just about beating high scores, but it's about developing and building relationships and fostering a sense of community. I do want us to definitely. This is going to be our first little area here. So my first question to you guys is: what makes online gaming such a powerful tool for forming friendships?
For me, it's finding like-minded people, and sometimes in my life that I feel like I can't talk to people. My mother is the type of person who is kind of like, shh, we don't tell anyone our business. So she keep
Right.
like that's how she was raised. Like you make sure you put on a face, make sure the outside world sees one thing, and then you struggle inside. So like trying to find someone in my life who I could talk to about things that I was not supposed to talk to people about.
Nay,
Like
nay.
my mother would get upset that like we would have a horse born, like a baby horse born, and I would be so excited that I'd post it on my Facebook. She's like, "No one needs to know our business." So it became to me finding like-minded individuals that I could talk to and branch out with because my I wasn't going to get in trouble for telling those people about the horse that was born or my depression that I'm dealing with, because my mother's the type of person who's just like, oh, we don't tell family about you dealing with depression because like we have to make it seem like everything's fine,
Hmm.
everything's perfect, and that just doesn't work for me.
No, 100%. What about you, Zeph? Why do you think gaming? What? Tell me a little bit.
So I'm gonna start with the mask concept, right?
Okay.
So I think it is a powerful tool because it allows you to only show people what you want them to see.
Yeah.
You control the duration of which they see it, and then you can leave. You can log off and go do something else. So I think that is a powerful tool because a lot of people have social anxiety, like you said. They have awkward things, nervous tics. They don't really like talking in public. This gives a platform where, sometimes there's one person in Discord or you're playing with one other person in a game, and sometimes there's 20. But you can kind of control the atmosphere at which you express yourself in. So people don't see the full you, and as you get warmed up and you begin to, I guess, trust them, you become acquainted with them. You begin to let them see a little bit more of who you are. You see a little bit more of who they are, and it's kind of like dating, you start with phase one, you go on that first date, hey, what's your favorite color, what are your interests, what's your goals in life, you kind of start at the bottom.
Mm,
And you don't judge people necessarily by their looks, because you don't really see who they are unless we're in a call on Discord. I mean, it used to be the days of Vent where you couldn't see anything, so you just saw a character model in a game, and
yeah.
you're like, yo, your character's hot. What's up, man? So I definitely feel like it has a lot of aspects to it that allow people to ease into relationships rather than just showing up at the bar and you're meeting the drunk me at the bar. Has
Right.
nothing to do with who I am. I might have a smooth tongue, but the next day when I sober up, I don't know how to say anything. That liquid courage does a lot for people. So
And especially for people who have like anxiety, like I can think of one person off the top of my head that I play with on a regular basis. And they have an extreme anxiety to where, like, when you are in person with people, you feel that pressure nonstop, and it can be suffocating to where if she needs to take a break for a minute, she can pop out of Discord, take a few minute breaks if she gets overwhelmed, be alone, calm down, and then come back and work on that. Like, she hasn't had to do that, but like she could if she wanted to. I just know she suffers from an extreme anxiety. So being online allows her that chance to kind of step away for a minute, or even like, let's say Discord, for example, she can pick and choose which voice chats, or not voice chats, even text chats she is participating in, to where when you're in person it's a lot easier to get pressured into doing things you're not comfortable doing, like, oh, go hug that random stranger over there, they're your 15th uncle removed or whatever. Like, we're supposed to know who that person is and immediately accept them and then want to be affectionate with them. So like, that was just a random example, but like, so being online gives you the control to know, to be able to like use your own feelings, be like, okay, am I comfortable am I comfortable joining this text chat? I don't like what they're talking about, I'm gonna back out, or I'm not gonna say anything. But in person, you're at a party and someone sees you walking up, like, they're gonna be like, oh, hey, now you're part of this conversation. It's a lot harder. So I feel like you have more control when you are building online friendships versus in person for a lot
oh,
of people.
I do.
absolutely.
I definitely agree with that. I actually agree with both of your answers because, um, when I think gaming has definitely gotten into has got me willing to talk to people more. Um, I think me growing up raiding in Ventrilo or TeamSpeak back in the day, um, kind of honed in that skill to be able to talk to others and be able to actually uh, show a little bit more of myself as far as being privileged and whatnot. From what Zeph was talking about, when it comes to online itself, you can decide whether or not 100% do you want to interact with that person or not. Do you want to actually develop something? And it's a pay by play kind of thing. Um, so I definitely agree with that stance. Now, have you ever experienced a deep connection with someone you met through gaming? If so, can you kind of share your story a little bit?
Oh yeah, yeah. You want to go first, Steph?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I met my husband through gaming. We were long distance for 8 years until we got married, and we've been together um, 13 years now.
Okay. How
So
long?
we met at
How long were you together, long distance, on the online side?
8 years.
Okay.
How long
So
did you how
we
long did you know him before you guys got together?
Okay, so what kind of happened? Let me tell you a story. We were playing a game
Give me
called
the
Okay.
calendar.
Ebony. It's a like a war game.
Hmm.
So like you have like up to 7 cities, and you build your armies in these cities, and your cities can move and go attack other people. You need to like compete for resources and things like that. I mostly got into the game because, like, I'm gonna be honest, I liked the ad. I'm a bi person who really liked the ad.
Hmm.
And when I got into the ad, someone told, or when I got into the game, someone was just like, "Oh, you're a girl. You're not gonna stay in this game." So I
Typical,
got stubborn.
typical gamer logic, you know.
I got stubborn and I stuck around. It's not a game I would go back and play today because it's. I was more making a point. But like, so there were guilds or alliances, and you could have like 100 people in a guild. I think they were alliances. Um, and so we had an alliance and we had like a sister alliance. So we had like 200 people that would jump back and forth between the two alliances. And he was one of those people. And when I first met him, he was still dating his ex.
Ooh.
And I did not like his ex. So, like, as much as I knew about age, like, I was like, it's that person and her man. I was like, I'm gonna kind of stay far away. I would chat with them like in alliance chat if it was like a group chat. Like I wouldn't ignore them. But I liked Age, but I was just like, I'm gonna stay far away because I don't like her. Um,
As
I
well
was
as you ain't
dating
no homewrecker.
exactly, and at that point, Age and I never had a one-on-one conversation. It was just in alliance chat with 100 other people that
Yeah,
could potentially be online. So
yeah.
we didn't have a one-on-one conversation at all while he was dating his ex. And then like I was dating other people. Um and what happened December 2011, I was dating this guy named Mark, and my father flew down from Alaska to come see me for my birthday.
Hmm.
And my father has lived in Alaska since I was 2.
Yep.
So I am 21, and my father's coming down for my birthday, and this is the first time he has ever met any of my boyfriends. And so we stopped, like, my father decided that he came and picked me and my brother up, and we were going to go and see my grandmother, who was like 2 hours away. So we stopped by and saw my boyfriend on the way to go to my grandmother's house. That's the last time I spoke to my boyfriend. He, or yeah, he cheated on me all weekend, and I broke up with him promptly when I got back into town. And then I went on my game and I started raging about it because I was angry. I went when I got back into town. I was just like, I just want to end everything. I want all my stuff out of your house. And so we had like a policeman show up and they put everything on the lawn. I grabbed things just to make sure it was civil because things were not great with that situation. I'm not going to get more into the story because it's not important. And then so I got all my stuff and I came home and I was just online raging because I was upset that that happened to
Yeah.
me. And Age was one of the people in
Rightfully
the
so.
chat. And so, like, I'm sitting there typing into my alliance, crying because I'm angry that this happened to me. And then um, I, I think I was drinking because I was 21 and I ended up going to bed. And then the next day, Age messaged me and he said, because you could whisper people in the game. So it was like our first time actually like whispering back and forth. And he was like, "You had a really rough day yesterday. And I've been thinking about you and I'm worried about you. How are you doing?" And from then on, so this would have been just a couple days after my birthday, so I that we officially started talking. We never stopped talking from then on, and then by January 16th, 2012, we officially started dating, and we didn't get married until um, May 2019. And now we live together because we didn't move in with each other until after I got married in May 2019. So I moved in June. So I he helped drive me and all my stuff from Texas all the way to New Jersey.
Okay.
So so we were apart for 8 something years and living on Skype basically.
Yeah. Hey, more power to you. I mean, I think that definitely is that's a really good story. And what I like about it is from the way things sounded, y'all didn't exactly rush into things. You actually took your time to actually develop the relationship and not um, not X-rated R type, things until you allowed shit to actually blossom. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. The one thing I can say about a relationship like that is when you're long distance like that, and if you do spend a lot of time gaming with a person that you're dating, you end up building stronger communication. I feel like
I
than
feel that,
we
yeah.
had, because like we had to communicate, and because he wasn't in person to see how grumpy I was that day or whatever, and he's just like, I need you to tell me how you're feeling because I'm not a mind reader. So it's just like it it as much as it sucked being so far apart for so long, it really strengthened our relationship because of how much we had to communicate with each other verbally.
Well, and it's also long distance in general. A lot of people will not do long distance.
Mm-hmm.
It because number one, it's very hard on the individual themselves.
Yeah.
Number two, it is a very big trust kind of thing. Are
Mm-hmm.
you gonna stay loyal with you being like 800 to 1,000 miles away, kind of thing? Um, so definitely, it's it can be very difficult. What about
Mm-hmm.
you, Zeph?
Um, so let's start with the PG rated stuff because
Yeah.
that's what I like to start with. Okay. So I have made some pretty cool friends in gaming. Talking to one of them in a Discord call right now. So I think we'll go back. I've had some long distance relationships too. None of them
Mm-hmm.
have panned out. Um, but it is interesting because like I still communicate with a lot of the people that I've played with, 20 years ago. I
Mm,
mean, it's not as often, but you're still friends with them. There's phases where it's like, hey, you're a cool person to hang out with. But back to your deep connection thing. So I want to bring my friend Dippy into this conversation. We have been friends for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years.
okay.
And I met him through World of Warcraft, randomly spamming stuff out in chat, looking for people to join my guild. And me and him kind of connected really well together because we literally lived at our computers, you know. So as time has gone on, we played games. We played RuneScape, World of Warcraft, uh, Hearthstone. We've even dabbled in some indie games in the Steam department.
Okay.
But when I met him, I was stationed in uh, Tampa Bay, Florida, and he was a foreign exchange student at a university in Miami. So we were like, oh, hey, we're only, 4 hours apart from each other, 3 hours, whatever it is. I don't know. I never drove down there. But um, so we played games every day. Literally, I'd get off work, I'd shoot him a message. Hey, man, I'll be home in 15 minutes. You want to do something? And it was just a repeat every single day. And we became such good friends that I felt like I had grown a bond to this person. It's like you're not physically or biologically related, but you care for them as if, you know, you were biologically related.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he fell off the radar for 6 months. Not a single word to me, nothing. I had no clue what the heck was going on. And, I messaged him every couple of days. Hey, man, where you at? We've been playing games for a really long time, man, and I haven't heard from you. Are you
Yeah.
still alive? Are you still
Yeah.
alive, bro? Well, 6 months later, I get a message back. He's like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I got COVID and I had to go back to my country.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I was like, ah, that makes sense. Um, but, things happen, lives change, but I still cared for him. When he was in Florida, there was a few times where, he was in a temporary window of struggle. I'm sure he's probably not happy I'm talking about this, but he's in a window of struggle, and I extended my arms out to help. Like, because that's
Mhm.
what I do. If I consider you a friend of mine, like not an acquaintance but a friend, I give you the shirt off my back if you need it. I will
Mhm.
put myself in at a disadvantage of some manner to make sure that you're taken care of.
Mhm.
I might not be able to give you a new Lamborghini or $100,000 job, but
You can give him a
I'll put.
shoulder to listen,
I can give
cry
him.
on.
I can give him an ear. If you need some food, I can take you out to eat, or I can send some groceries your way. You know, yeah. And I did that in certain situations because I care about it. Um, and even to this day, I consider him a friend of mine. We have our moments that doesn't make sense. Like he'll just disappear, say nothing, block me on Discord, and then not talk to me for like a week, 2 weeks, a month. But it's kind of like World of Warcraft. Once you start playing, you never stop. You might take a break from it, but you know,
Can
you
I
guys,
make a little anecdotal connection here to your story?
yeah.
So my husband has a friend that's kind of similar. He has been friends with her for over 20 years. They just say 20 years, and even when it's 50 years, they're going to say 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, and they do something very similar. Like she's my friend now too, but they knew each other long before we started dating, and we we lose connection with her from time to time, but then and it's not because we don't want to talk to her or she doesn't want to talk to us. Like our lives get busy sometimes, and then
Mm-hmm.
neither of us reach out, and or neither of them reach out because they talk more than I talk with her. I'm just really bad about trying to stay in contact with everyone I want to stay in contact with. So my brain can't be everywhere at once. But so when they'll go through 6 months or a year spell sometimes where they don't talk and it's not malicious in any way. And then all of a sudden one day one of them will text the other and then they're back to talking like they never quit. And sometimes you need friendships like that too that are there for you are there when you need them, but it's okay for your lives to kind of come up go apart and then come back together too.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Eh,
Go ahead. Go, go ahead.
so, but no, that would probably be one of my biggest connections. I got to talk about Tater for a second, just because it's Tater-talks. Uh, this dude doesn't know left from right sometimes, man. But I think he has a good soul inside of him, and we went on a year hiatus of this dude. Like me and him barely fucking talked for a year. And I'm just like, yo, dude, you ever coming back to WoW? You ever coming back to WoW? You ever gonna play games again? Like
To
we used
be
to have out
fair, to be
excuses.
fair, I ran off of a toaster, and when I say a toaster, I'm talking a toaster. Um, my computer at the time was an HP all-in-one, like one of the first models of an all-in-one that they ever came out with. So it was the processor alone was an Intel Celeron core processor, um, that literally was like 10 years obsolete.
Can I make a clarification for you because I was confused? So just in case anyone else was confused like I was, I heard that you say that you ran off with a toaster. And so I
Yes.
was like, what do you mean? Like you
He
grabbed
did
a
that too.
toaster or ran
Hey,
away? But no, you're
he
meaning
did
that you
that
were
too.
playing on basically a computer that was basically a toaster. So
Yeah.
just
Yes.
clarifying for anyone else who may have
Um,
been confused like me.
So I had a very, very old computer. I was trying to save up for a decent computer. Um, but then, I couldn't. Every time I'd have like $500 saved up, uh, two of my tires would go flat, and I had to go buy something. It was a never-ending hill. And then now I run off of a HP Omen. Um, so I'm super excited. I'm still trying to make changes to it because like I talked about earlier, I'm trying to be able to stream this on 4K, which the Omen has the capabilities to do that. It's just I don't know how to do all the settings yet, so trying.
But yeah, we went to a we started out. I had no idea who this dude was. I want to keep us on point for a second because I got to finish this. This is gonna
Yeah,
take a minute. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Go ahead.
So we met in a random raid in World of Warcraft, and like I had no idea who this dude was. I just knew he was chatty in Discord or whatnot, and you know, we had like quite a few pugs in there. We were in Sepulchre of the First Ones in Shadowlands, and
Sanctum of Domination, thank you.
No, I'm talking about a different raid after that.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking because this is the raid where we were on, where you fought the 4 copies of the big guy.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Covenant leaders. And everybody else is dying, and there's stuff going all over the floor. And this dude's like lagging halfway across the map and surviving. And I get fed up with everyone. I'm like, how in the world does a dude who's pulling like 2 frames a second survive mechanics that you guys are dying to? And,
let alone was I not dying. I was so in World of Warcraft. There's a concept called eye level. In order for you to do certain content, you have to be at a certain eye level. Otherwise, you're gonna die.
Level.
And so anyway, I was like 20 numbers below the recommended requirement. Yeah, I'm still staying alive. And I hear in Seth, he's sitting there in raid chat going, how is he staying alive yet you guys can't even do simple, like, it was hilarious. Anyway, proceed.
It was. So, little did I know at that moment here, we would walk, 6 months later, me, him, and another friend of ours would be just sitting in Discord on Sundays with our cameras on, shooting the shit, having a good time. And then a year hiatus goes by. We barely talk to each other. There's a little check in every now and then, but nothing. And now, we're still together running a guild. Pretty BFFs. He didn't come to my wedding, even though he was invited, but
I couldn't make it, first of all. Thank you.
Excuses.
To be fair, my own brothers didn't make it to my wedding, so sometimes it happens.
You'll never live that one down, Tater. Love you, but I will bring it up every time.
So as we can see here, we've been able to go through a couple of things and develop deep connections. We both, we've been able to have the friendship of me and Zeph. You have the relationship with you and AJ. There's more. There can be more than that, but I want to kind of continue forward here. So interactive moment for those of you with your little journals. If this is the first time watching the podcast, what we do is we have if you come back for multiple episodes, you're gonna have your journal, and you're gonna have your little personal questions that I'm gonna provide you throughout the episode, and then slowly but surely, whenever you have a rough day or you don't have Tater to come talk to, you can reflect in your journal as wise words from the Tater. So think about your favorite multiplayer game, whether it be Call of Duty, whether it be World of Warcraft, whether it be Lockdown Protocol. Who is someone you've connected through it? So who is somebody who you feel you've actually been able to be connected through it? And how has that relationship impacted you today? Also, If you're in a gaming community, what makes that gaming community welcoming and supportive? And if you want to share your answers, you can share your answers on my Twitter, hashtag Tater-talks, hashtag Tater-talks.
I like that feature. Let's go.
You're a nerd, dude, but I love you.
So once again, you're going to think about your favorite multiplayer game. Who was someone you connected through it, and how has that relationship impacted you? And if you're in a gaming community, what makes it feel welcoming and supportive?
I can't answer that question. I feel like I have situations in place where I don't feel supported because people want to support me, but because they have to support me. Manager privileges.
You ever get those moments where you have to manage the manager?
No.
All right, y'all. Moving forward here. Sometimes life can be overwhelming and down out, just you're done with it. And gaming offers a chance to relax and recharge. I want us to dive into how games help us manage stress. What type of games do you find actually relaxing? Not grindy, but relaxing, and why? Go ahead, Zeph.
Well, real quick, I just have a funny joke because of the question you just asked. I tell my wife I like to use video games to veg. And
But
she's
man,
like,
we're yelling.
for everything. She's like, "Are you actually going to relax, or are you going to go yell at Tater for something?" Like that's exactly what she says.
It's so relaxing, but man, it's my stress level up here, but it's really like down here, you know.
I will start this one off though, just because I'm already talking. So, honestly, I think my most relaxing type of game is solo player RPGs
Okay.
because there's no reliance on anyone. You know, you can put yourself in whatever headspace you want to be in this fantasy world. And, you can pause the game usually. Um, unless it's Dark Souls, well, I guess you can pause Dark Souls, but you can pause the game, get up, go make a cup of tea, get a snack, go to the bathroom, come back to it, and just kind of progress through this story at your own pace.
Okay.
And you can play on whatever difficulty you want to play on. No one's judging you if you just want to do the story mode difficulty where everything dies with one shot. Or, I mean, if high anxiety and stress of dying or whatever it is, puzzling is your cup of tea, you can play it at the highest difficulty.
I just want to make a comment. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
One of the chatters, one of our commenters said, "Relax. Mythic rating isn't relaxing to me. I have to fight to keep up with ours on tonight."
Jeez. Never said it was relaxing. That's a job. It's your job.
Your voluntary job.
Yeah, you're
You're being told to do it.
Voluntold.
Voluntold.
Yep.
But yeah, solo player games are where it's at. Um, I would say Minecraft. I know it's a multiplayer game, but it has the ability to be played by yourself, so it's not required to be online. It's
Okay.
very relaxing. I talked about this in our last episode. It's just one of those things where you either put blocks down or you break them. Doesn't matter the graphics of it, but you get to use the creativity of your mind. Even if, you worked a 12-hour shift, had to calculate trajectories around the moon and to Saturn and Jupiter and back and figure out how to solve world hunger in one day, you can just go in there and click one button and play the whole game. So, um, I would say those are the most relaxing. It doesn't require outside influence, if that's a good way to put that. You lost something, Tater. You're looking really disturbed.
No, you're good. You're good. I definitely agree. Solo leveling. So like everybody fell in love with Skyrim, right? That's like the chokehold. Now I'm not talking about ESO. ESO. I'm talking about the original Skyrim. Okay. And then for all you rebel people, Morrowind, the Oblivion, I know a lot of us are waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. Um, you know, so I definitely agree with the love of solo RPGs. Now I like to also play a lot of Japanese RPGs. God, I literally just had it at the tip of my tongue, but like there's um, I could list off probably about 20 of them if I really put my mind to it. But Final Fantasy, anything by like Square Enix, 100%. Um, but the love of just being able to just be in the atmosphere of it. Um, we talked. I know there's been in our private time. There's been conversations of like No Man's Sky or um, what's the new one? Star something.
Stardew Valley.
Starfield.
Starfield. Um,
Okay.
Now, of course, Stardew Valley is also a good one. It's not an RPG, but like it's a nice calming element. I was actually going to use that reference a little later on. Um, so shut up. You've never played it, therefore you have no say. So get out of here. Um, anyway, it's a nice, calm, relaxing. It's nice to just be in the atmosphere. If you have like a large TV, so like me, I've got a 60-inch curved TV. Um, what I
The
like to
TV's curved.
do what?
The TV's curved, or is the
Yeah,
monitor
yeah, the TV's curved.
fancy?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little aged, but hey, it's there. Um, but anyway, it's a being able to be that wide of a screen and being able to have the atmosphere pulled up and just sit in the environment. Playing Skyrim while Skyrim, if it's like in the middle of the night and you can look up and see all the stars and whatnot, it's just you can't take that back. So I definitely agree with a lot of the atmosphere of trying to find somewhere to relax, something that's not anxiety inducing.
So for me, I think it depends on what type of mood I'm in. Because sometimes I like, okay, my gaming history is that I didn't get into like shooter games until I started streaming.
Okay.
So that was just in the past 2 years. Um, I played mostly things like Crash Bandicoot growing up. Um, at my friend's house, we would play like the Disney games on the PC. I remember playing Hercules. Um, I played Pokemon type games. But like now, if I were to think of a relaxing game, like if I, for example, on a day that I have brain fog that's really heavy, and I'm just like, I can't be around other people right now. I will pull up a game like Bloons Tower Defense. It's one of those games that he was talking about where like you don't like you get to control when it plays, when it stops, because in between rounds you can get up and do whatever you need to do. You can take a 3 hour break if you need to, and the game's still there. Nothing's happened. Um, but then there are also other days where I'm like, oh my goodness, today's been a rough day. For example, when I was a teacher, um, I feel like for me, like as much as I love being a teacher helping kids, I am also an introvert. So being around 500 students in a single day at minimum, what became very exhausting for me, because I was an art teacher, so I wasn't just like around one group of, like, I didn't just have first grade. I had kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, pre-K,
Right.
eventually seventh and eighth grade, all in one day. So it's just like I had a minimum of 500 students a day, and that became, being around that many people every single day became very, actually 500 students a day might be rough. A minimum of 100 students a day. Um,
But it got pretty exhausting.
yeah, so
Hitting that autopilot button.
Yeah.
I would come home and my husband would be like, "Do you want chicken or beef?" And I would be like, "I cannot compute. I know you spoke, but I cannot compute." So
Make
like,
it for me. I don't care. Just
yes, like I'd get home and I'd just be like,
I
I'd
don't
either
want
be like a
decisions.
zombie, or I'd be frustrated because something happened outside of my control that I could not fix. Or, I had coworkers that thought they were better than me for some reason. And it was just like, and it was very frustrating to me. And it was just like, for example, there was, at my last school, there was more than one art teacher. And she was convinced that no matter what I went through, her day was always worse. So
I
my
hate I
trial,
hate people that one up. I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to be a very
yeah.
open kind of environment, but like, you want to talk? You know what grinds my gears?
Oh, like I had one student punch another student in my class and then try to punch me, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh, this is a rough day." And she's like, "That's nothing. Like, you shouldn't even be complaining at all. I don't even know why you're talking." And it's just like, so literally invalidating my feelings.
I
Literally. So like when I'd get home, I'd be very frustrated where I'd be like, at that time I wasn't playing Call of Duty or Fortnite or anything like that, but I got into Among Us, and I'd be like, I need to get on here and I need to kill someone on Among Us. Like
I
I need
need
to
to
be
be the
imposter.
imposter.
I need to be the imposter. So sometimes that's relaxing, like just taking that frustration out that I had from my day out on someone else, but it's like it's not mean, like imposters kill people in Among Us. That's just what happens. And then, so sometimes that's relaxing. That's the relaxing thing. Playing Call of Duty now for me can be very relaxing if I'm frustrated for some reason. So it's just like, it depends on what you're feeling that day and what helps you relax that day.
Hmm.
Oh,
Did you
no,
have anything to add, Zeph, before I move forward?
no, I was responding to somebody in my chat. Yes, I still play World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna skip down a little bit here.
Hmm.
Um, if gaming helps you de-stress, what is one specific moment in a game that brought you peace or joy?
Improving my gameplay brings me peace and joy. Like, for especially for like shooter games like Fortnite and Call of Duty, that that makes me happy. Like, especially as someone who hasn't grown up playing, like I watched my brothers play Halo, but I wasn't allowed to play with them. We only had two controllers, and I was just the sister sitting in the corner watching,
Yeah.
you know. And but I never played until, in the past couple years. So for like when I first started playing Fortnite, for example, I was like, okay, I need to sit here and work on this game and play several games and get used to the controls before I try to play with any of my other friends, because they're not going to want to play with a bot. Is that what I called myself?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, and they were like, "Ugh, stop it." They were like, "Bella, stop it. We're going to play with you regardless. You just picked up this game less than a day ago. We don't expect you to be good at it." But like, I would feel bad being
Hmm.
a bot. So like improving in the games, like my gameplay, makes me happy, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, I can help my friends more because I'm better now. They can rely on me.
Right. What about you, Zeph? Unless you want me to answer.
I want you to answer first. I'm
Well,
thinking on how I want to word mine.
I was gonna say, I think you and I are gonna be coming up with the same answer as far as recent events. Um, our guild getting AOTC. So AOTC stands for ahead of the curve. When getting this
Okay.
achievement, it requires your guild, you as a guild, to be above the average player before the start of the new season. Um, it's kind of a pain in the ass to get because you
You're
have to.
always dead.
It's
I'm just kidding.
kind of a pain in the ass to get. Um, because the final boss, so we in World of Warcraft you have rating. Well, rating is based off of can be based off of difficulty. You have the standard. You have the easiest difficulty, which is LFR, means looking for a raid. This is mainly people who are very new to raiding. You can understand the concepts of the mechanics. You
Okay.
kind of get a feel for things. Then
It's
the
story mode.
next, yeah, it's story mode.
Okay.
The next level is normal. This is no queue base. This is you actually finding other players yourself and getting a group together to go into raiding.
Okay.
The next level is heroic, which is the same exact raid except bosses have bigger health, they hit harder, and they
More
also,
mechanics.
yeah, there's more mechanics based on the previous two difficulties.
Okay.
And then the final level, which is what a lot of guilds wish that they can accomplish, but not very many get this far, is called mythic difficulty.
Okay.
That means literally you get hit, you die. Um, it's very unforgiving.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the esports and a lot of like very like Twitch based raiders, um, that's where the money starts coming in. Is if you want to be in World of Warcraft competitive gaming, because the big event that happens every season is called the World First.
Okay.
Which guild is gonna be able to be the first people to kill the final boss on mythic level? Um, I'm talking thousands get spent. Um, In-game currency and outside currency because there'll be every event. The three main guilds that everybody watches is Liquid, which is Zeph's favorite guild. Echo, which is mine. In the end, Method is the third. It comes behind as third. Um, we're talking thousands get spent. 9 times out of 10, the guilds will actually fly to a certain destination. They'll stay in a big hotel together. They'll rent out like a conference center. Um, they get all
State of
their
the art
food.
gaming computers, everything.
Yeah. And they get sponsorships too. We're talking big PC sponsorships from like Crosshair, um, Nitrous Gaming, Asus, like a lot of.
Team Liquid sponsored by is it not is it Steam Labs that make the gaming chairs?
Yes.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
Steam Labs.
We're talking
Uh
bukus get spent. And so that's what's funny is me and Zeph are trying to build a guild to not exactly be that good, but like to rise our guild to that kind of fame.
Mm-hmm.
Is we would love it if we could lead that kind of community.
Yeah.
Um, and have like guild events where people will fly to like either LA or for the East Coast. If they're a part of the guild, they'll come to like Charlotte, North Carolina, like a big city. Some shit like that. We think it would be very cool. Um, But anyway, to not to stop going on a tangent here, the biggest thing was AOTC. When we got the guild AOTC, it was very grueling. It was very the amount of times that we had to re reorganize our team because somebody left the guild. The trials and tribulations. It took us 13 weeks to get AOTC as a guild, and it's very hard to get it as a first season guild.
Okay,
So
let's go.
I'll shut up. Go ahead, Zeph.
I find peace in video games when every one of my raiders signs up before the day of raid, and I know that they're going to be there. And I find joy out of clearing the raid in one night and not, you know, having to stop halfway through. Nah. So honestly, my joy does come from the guild. Like Tater said, it's the accomplishment. Um, but AOTC was just the starting point. I mean, we're now in that mythic level of rating. Not deep, but we're there. We have a really, like I said last week, we have a really good crew of people. So, um, honestly, it's just the least peaceful part of a guild is trying to keep the people and not lose interest in your group. Um, you know, but knowing that I have a good core team behind me does bring a lot of peace of mind into my gaming aspect. I know if I don't get on for a night, nothing's gonna burn down. Uh, World's not gonna end. You're not gonna have to start from scratch when you get back, and you know, it is joy that we are successful. We are becoming a very successful crew. So
It becomes very difficult because you are interacting with so many people's lives as guild masters. You're constantly working with people left and right on is their schedules working, is are they going to be around in the game, are they going to be, because are we catering enough to what they are desiring, and it's a very very, I'm not going to say it's unforgiving, but it is complicated because you want to be sure you're appeasing everybody, because if you're not appeasing everybody, then they're going to up and leave. And so that's why me and Zeph, we enforce our officers of the guild to be sure there's guild events, be sure that everything is running smoothly, be sure that we are keeping up to date with what players want to do, because a lot of what we do differently is in the guild is we want our players to play what they want to play, and not feel like they're forced to play a specific class. Um, and so it's very grueling because a lot of people are not used to that. They're not used
we're
to the play what you want to play.
I do want to say before we move on, I talked about like what makes me happy in video games, and I
Hmm.
had to think a little bit more about like what brings me joy. And the thing that brings me joy in video games are my connections with other people. So it's not necessarily the games itself that bring me like that feeling of joy. It's the people that I'm spending time with. It's whoever like I'm playing COD with, or whoever I'm playing Fortnite with, or whoever I'm playing Call of Duty with. It's the
I
people.
I absolutely loved my first night playing Lockdown Protocol. That was hilarious. Cause
We had
like
so much
I had seen gameplay of it, and like it was just this essence of, okay, now I'm playing, now I gotta learn. But being able to trick people left and right of, hey, do you need help? And then jab.
fun. Yes.
Like me being able to throw that facade was very chef's kiss.
Even last night, surely Tater's not Saboteur 3 times in
Yeah,
a
sure,
row.
yeah, surely. I will say it's a lot easier being an imposter on Lockdown Protocol because trust is a very fine thread in that game.
Yeah,
um
I had a lot of fun.
So yeah, I really, I had so much fun playing that. I strongly, I don't, Zeph, do you have Lockdown Protocol?
I do not. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, we need to
Fun.
get, we got to get you in on that little bus. It's on sale right now. Oh, it's great. Um, so
I can't talk bad about people on this podcast, so we'll just say that as soon as the situation lightens up on the back end, maybe I can purchase it.
um,
You know,
so let's, so gaming has become more inclusive with, it's always, of course, it's always had its prominence on pretty much people today. Everybody and their brother plays a console. Everybody and their brother plays something. There's people that have trialed and error on AAA games. There's some people that play that only just stick to the classics, like GoldenEye, as Zeph was talking about last episode. Some people don't like the new stuff. So but what I will say is at the end of the day, a lot of people agree that it is amazing for mental health. I want us to explore how accessible design and inclusivity makes a difference in that. How have accessible games made it easier for people to enjoy gaming?
mm,
If you're confused and I'm speaking taterish, let me know and I can clarify.
Um, I sometimes don't always absorb things audibly, so I feel like that's a sentence I need to read. What segment are we on?
5.
5. Okay. I know you said we jumped down. So,
oh, you jumped way down.
Well, I'm also trying to be considerate of time.
yes, yes, I completely understand, but it's sometimes I'm just very much a visual learner. So sometimes reading something makes it click for me a lot easier. So accessible games. So are we talking about like colorblind mode for games or
Yeah.
making it because like
Mm.
accessible games can mean like making games more accessible for people to play or like there are like we were talking about Among Us. Among Us has colorblind mode because like you have to match colored wires and not everyone can see that, so like they put like a circle where both blues are so you can match shapes instead. And actually I just was playing Uno the other day and I saw that Uno did something very similar. They put little on all their colored cards, they put like shapes so you can be like blue is circle or whatever. And like I love things like that. I will for like plate up and things like that. I use the colorblind mode because it just makes things a little bit easier.
Mm.
So so as far as like making games like that to where more people can play, I think that's amazing. And it's
So,
even
so,
better
so,
for people that don't need it.
So to clarify, yes, that is an aspect of what I meant by accessible. But when I'm
Okay.
talking, when it comes to people with disabilities and whatnot, for Uno, we have colorblind modes. In World of Warcraft, they introduced arachnophobia because spiders was a big thing.
Hey,
Um,
we're in a heavy spidered X pack right now, okay?
That's why I'm having a hard time continuing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm in a very spidery area.
uh, um, but there's a couple of other modes. A lot of people don't know this, but like people that get motion sickness very easily.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so,
I'm
so for those people, there's a dungeon in World of Warcraft called Grim Batol that's very shaky when you're in there. And they put an NPC for you to drink a potion for you not to get motion sickness or the motion stuff of the camera.
Okay.
It's the small tidbits like that is what I'm talking about. As far as being able, as far as anything with disabilities, outside of disabilities, what I'm talking about is ways to be able to communicate. We talked. A lot of people use voice chat. A lot of people use text to chat.
Oh
Some,
yes.
but some people are actually blind, so there's the speech to text.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's not necessarily disabled people with disabilities, but people may just not want to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been there, especially on Call of Duty. I'm like, I'm not with my friends. I don't feel like talking to any of you guys today. I'm gonna put myself on push talk and just never push that push talk button.
So let me ask an easier question then.
Okay.
Okay. What steps are developers take? What steps do you see that you've identified that developers are taking to promote a safe and supportive online environment? So whether that
Wait,
be
are developers actually doing that?
Well, like for
did you
Call of Duty, for example, you can report people, and they're actually banning people for times. So
okay?
like that's a step that they're trying to take. And I think it cuts down some of it, but not all the toxicity in Call of Duty.
That's what
Um,
I'm talking about right there. Is
but they're
think of
trying to address
toxic.
it. They're
Think
trying to address that. But like Fortnite, on the other hand, if you compare the two games, like Fortnite's not considered nearly as toxic because you can't sit there and talk to the other players. So like that's something maybe that Fortnite thought of in the front end of their game rather than releasing their game and was like, "Oh, this is now a problem. Let's fix it."
What are lobbies? Oh, that place where you just shoot people and jump around and show your emojis and dance moves?
Yeah, you don't talk to anyone besides your actual partners. So I don't I feel like promoting a safe and supportive environment for gaming, depending on the game, can be difficult. There are some games known for being more toxic.
Hmm.
Um, it's hard to control humans in that aspect, though, um, because if you are allowing people to talk to each other in a game, like um, if we allowed randoms into our lockdown protocol lobby, Tater, like we can't control what comes out of their mouth, but we can report them when some. I don't even know if you can in lockdown, but
Mhm.
I haven't played enough lockdown protocol to know that much. But like in most games, I like the report function or even like a block function where I can be like, nope, I don't want to hear or see this player again. You know, so I think they are trying, but it's not 100% successful because of human nature.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So what about you, Zeph?
I don't have any positive statements to say about this question. I don't play any games that promote a really good atmosphere for anti-toxicity. World of
Okay.
Warcraft, people
Okay.
talk
So
smack.
so then let me switch. Let me ask it vice versa. What do you feel developers need to do or should do that they're not doing that you would provide recommendations? How do you think they could
No.
improve?
So, okay, I will say one thing positive before I answer this. So World of
Negative
Warcraft
Nancy.
I'm just being real, okay? I'm sorry. I'm being real. So World of Warcraft has like its profanity filter that you can set.
Yeah.
If you want to see people cussing and screaming, you can turn it off. They do have things like arachnophobia mode, but that's not gonna promote or dispromote toxicity. But it's just like, people talk crap. You can get around a filter. Like when you report people, like one report really doesn't do anything to them, right? Like you have to get multiple reports
Oh yeah.
or it has to be something very severe where it's like, hey, this person found my IP address and threatened to come to my house and kill me. Like that would be something severe. But someone says, yo, you should uninstall the game and kill yourself, like, which happens a lot. People go tell you to go kill yourself in a game all the time. Like you report them and it's like, okay, nothing happens. Like I feel like things like that. I, I feel like if you're going to talk like that in a game, and I know this is going to sound bad, but I feel like you should lose your privileges to talk permanently.
Right.
Like, because I'm a firm believer if you already talk like that, having a 7-day voice ban isn't going to stop you from talking like that.
True.
You know,
I know
that's my
lots of
person.
people. Go ahead.
Like I do it, you know. Like I sit there. I don't ever start the instigation, but if you're gonna smack talk me, bro, I will waste your time all night. You know,
I will
kind of like a
send you to Jesus.
like
I
it's kind of
relate.
like one of them. It's a scam caller. You know, they call you up. You know, it's a scam. You want to waste as much of their time as possible because that's time they could be spending scamming someone who would fall for it.
Yep.
But I feel like they should highly increase the severity of it, right? Like it
Yes.
shouldn't be. It should be something where it's like I'm going to use my daughter as an example. It came up in co-parent therapy.
Okay.
World of Warcraft is an unfiltered game. You can take some steps to prevent or mitigate some of the damage that would be done, but you can't prevent all the damage.
Mm.
A 5-year-old should be able to log into World of Warcraft and play the game. There are aspects of the game that aren't high level intensity violence. It's not really a bloody, gory game. World of Warcraft has already removed all the sexual innuendos from the game, you know. They're no longer called concubines in Black Temple. They're now temple assistants. But you know, they have taken some steps like that, you know, but you if you want to remove the toxicity from a game, you have to punish it at the source. You have to say if you do this, it's done. If you want to chat, you're going to have to make another account. All your progress is gone. Or you can use Discord, you know? I hardly ever type in game. The only time I type in game is raid warning saying fuck you, Tater, which is toxic. Which is literally toxic. So
But
it's
that's
one
an
of those.
inside joke between you two, so it's different.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, but it's one of those things where it's like, I think that they should take steps to have it removed completely. You know, enough people get banned or muted permanently, you know, people are going to stop talking negatively in a game, you know?
Yes.
Discord is a different story, but most of the time it's kind of like Fortnite, where if you're in Discord, you're talking with people you know. And I do have the ability to insta-ban someone who wants to be toxic in Discord, right? Like if someone comes in, if we plug people into our raid and they're like, yo, bro, you play like shit, I'm fucking gone. Right? Peace. It was nice knowing you.
Yep.
But that's what I think needs to happen. I think, you know, I'm all for competitiveness and I'm all for rankings in a game, but I feel like
there needs to be the good sportsmanship, like like they do in football. You know, if a football player was to do some shit on TV, they can be ejected from the game. They're
they're fined.
yeah, they're fined. They're fined. College level, they're ejected from the game for unsportsmanlike conduct. You know, it's very there's something that can actually happen to you. But when it comes to a game, there's not really the same repercussions.
Yeah, like I think games need to pull back a little bit on like the ranking system of things, right? Because toxicity comes from people wanting to level up, people wanting to be the best. So I understand like there is a competitive aspect to the game, but they should, if you're playing ranked and you're not in a party, there is no chat. Open lobby chat should be disabled for something like that, you know? Because then it's like you go in, you get mad, you cuss at your screen, you throw your controller across the room, whatever. No one hears it or sees it. You know, you party up with people, you can talk with them. Hey, bro, I need you to do this. Yo, man, we played bad. Have a nice night. But you remove a lot of the toxic aspect of things. If you want to make friends, hey, we had a really good game. I liked how this dude played. Send him a friend request.
Yep.
Invite him to your party. But I think they should remove the open lobby concept.
To
Okay.
cut down on toxicity, yeah. 'Cause I do want to expand on a point that you made earlier. Like I know a lot of people who are on COD who have received 30-day voice bans,
Hmm.
and they do question. Like I know 3 or 4 off the top of my head. And like they do sit there and question like, "Dang, I don't know if I want to talk cuz I don't know if I want to be voice banned again."
Hmm.
Um but that doesn't stop them from eventually doing it again and getting voice banned for another 30 days and 2 months from later. Um, to where like I do have a couple groups now that are switching to Discord so they can mouth off into Discord and then to each other, but then do push talk in game so they're not being like toxic in game.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that works, but the voice ban even for 30 days only makes them question for a while and makes them think about it for a while and
It's a
it
band-aid to the solution.
yeah, it ends up happening again. They end up getting voice banned again.
And here's the
So,
thing, I got a perfect example for this. I love Call of Duty.
hmm,
I can play me some zombies. But I don't put a lot of time and effort into it.
yeah,
You know, like I don't play every day. So if I get in and I play with people, I'm probably going to be towards the bottom of the leaderboards because I just don't get heavy into it anymore. I used to be really good.
yeah,
So there's a lot of times where people are like, "Yo, you're trash, bro," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I played. This is the first time I played in like 6 months."
hmm,
You know, did you sleep last night? But it's one of those things where it's just like people don't care how you play the game. All they care about is winning, and I
yeah,
think that's what promotes the toxicity.
true.
Mm.
For some people, or for a lot of people, I feel like that's true.
Yes.
So, with us
Oh,
only having
you need to level up a druid kitty.
no, I've been watching. That's why I keep on looking over here is because I'm monitoring. Anyway, um, so we only have a couple of minutes left in the episode this evening. Um, before I wrap some things up here and get to my final questions, is there anything you two would like to ask me?
I don't have a question. There's something on my mind that is, that I'd kind of like to share that kind of relates to everything that we're talking about,
Okay.
but not fully. Um, so I watch something called Desert Bus for Hope every year. It's a charity that runs in November every year. Have you ever heard about it? Doesn't sound like it. It's okay.
No.
So what it is it's a gaming group, and they play a lot of Magic the Gathering, a lot of board games. They do a lot of like comedy skits, things like that. Um, and I think in 2007 they decided to
Hmm.
look, sorry, this moth is right in front of my face. They decided to partner with a charity called Child's Play. So Loading Ready Run partnered with Child's Play to make Desert Bus for Hope. And they play one of the worst video games to them ever the entire time, and they will stream until they stop getting donations. Usually they stream for a minimum a week. This past year, they managed to raise over $1 million, which was great.
Hell yeah.
Um, but Child's Play, to me, ties in with this topic because Child's Play is about. Um, hold on. I looked it up so I could just read it off. It's 4 sentences. Where did it go? I'll keep looking while I explain it. The Child's Play is a charity that deals more um, with children in hospitals. Here we go. Here's the thing. Child's Play is a registered charity dedicated to improving the lives of children undergoing treatment in hospitals with toys and video games. The charity supports a network of over 180 hospitals worldwide. And then they also support domestic violence, whatever. But the point is, like when I was listening to them this past year, they were talking about video games more specifically, when it came to what they do with like the hospitals, and they have worked on developing video games for these kids. Like, imagine like a 7-year old undergoing cancer treatments. Like that's very difficult for them to do. Sometimes you have to stay still for a large period of time depending on like what treatment you're going through. That's hard for an adult to do, and you want a kid to do it now. And so a lot of times what they do is they use sedation in those time periods to keep the children still. Now they're developing video games and handing them video games to help them through through these procedures, and to help them like help their mental health while they're still in the hospitals, because I don't know if you've ever been hospitalized, but it isn't fun. Even if you're getting out of work, it isn't fun. Um so like I'm this entire time I've been sitting here thinking about child's play and like using video games for therapy, because that's what they are doing. They are building video games more specifically towards built towards mental health therapy and therapy to help them with like physical, there's a word, relationship's not the right word, physical physical therapy after, after, whatever. So they're tapping into video games to help with various forms of health, physical health, mental health, and I think that's amazing. And so I just wanted to bring it up because I don't think a lot of people know about it.
So, while you've been talking, I'm actually sharing the website on the stream right now. So
Okay.
definitely guys, if you ever want to take a look at Child's Play, it's childsplaycharity.org. You can either make a donation to them. It looks like they've got a little bit of merch on there. It looks like they've got an annual dinner auction. Oh, that was on the 24th and back in November. Um, but yeah, definitely, if you want to take a look at that, definitely go take a look. It helps the kids. It helps in pediatric gaming and technology. Um, Looks like they've got a couple of robots that help the let's see, new technology that allows patients to experience events outside hospitals, such as high school graduations, class field trips, and even um, just museums. Go take a look. Um, to kind of wrap up here, give me just a moment here. There we go. All right.
Video games and health was such a strong correlation. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So we've definitely covered a lot today, from building connections to relieving stress to cognitive benefits, and pretty much the overall environment in gaming. Remember that gaming is a tool, and like any tool, it's how you use it that matters. My final questions to you guys is: what is one takeaway from today's episode that you may or may not apply to your gaming habits? Is there any takeaways from today?
I feel like the toxicity thing I'm going to think about a lot more, especially since I do play Call of Duty every week pretty regularly. Um, I think I'm going to think about that conversation a lot more because, like, I've been in the chats. I'm the type of person who will kill the other team with kindness. So
Yeah,
they'll be like, ooh, you expletive, expletive, expletive. And I'll be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, someone's upset. I'm so sorry. Do you want to tell me about your feelings? So I'll kill them with kindness in the game. And so I don't feed into the toxic most of the time unless you go after my friends. And then if you go after Boo or Birdie or someone, I don't like that.
No, I got you.
But it's just like
It's on site.
I'm gonna think about that. I think every time I log into COD for the next month or so.
hmm And then my second final question is: I know that doesn't work with each other, but work with me here. How can you use how can we use gaming as a positive force for mental health in our lives? I think I personally, I'm gonna enjoy some more lockdown protocol. Of course, still continuously work with my guild to make sure it's the best environment that we can supply. What about you, Zeph?
I'm going to need you to recap. I'm messaging you really quick.
I can
Okay.
I'm
answer the
sorry.
question
Yeah.
while he's doing that.
I
So crap. I had it and I lost it. Can you repeat the question one more time? Because it will remind me and it will come right back.
How can you use gaming as a positive force for mental health in your life?
So I'm going to. I feel like the positive mental health for me is who I surround myself with when I'm gaming. So my friends, because that's the main reason that I game is to spend time with my friends that are not close to me. So in the next couple weeks, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be spending time with them and enjoying and laughing and um, I don't know. That's how we have fun. So I'm gonna go cherish them because I try I try all the time to be like, hey, do you know how much I appreciate you? Because I don't want them to ever forget. So we talked about that. So like I don't remember anymore. My brain is going kaput. I'm sorry. I haven't actually slept a lot this week, but I'm here and I took my mushrooms and it's my brain's
Hey,
trying.
where I'm not saying every episode can be Star Spangled Awesome. We are working as we get better.
Yeah.
So come next to kind of wrap this up here. Number one, I want to thank everybody for coming to the podcast this evening. I know conversation has not exactly been the best of best. However, I'm really excited for next week because we get to bring on some outside perspective, and we're going to go over the cons of gaming. We're going to be, if she is available, we're going to be bringing in Zeph's spouse. We're going to be bringing in AJ if he's available. And we're going to be talking about what are some cons of either married dating to a gamer. What is it like to just overall the environment of it from an outside perspective. And I get to ask my wonderful questions to them, so I'm super excited. As always,
And I can give
guys,
you all the dirt.
yes, I want all the dirt. I want all the tea. My teacup is going to be ready.
my wife's gonna have to walk our goldfish now next week.
Oh,
I'm really
okay. So please stay tuned. Keep in mind we are always going to be live going forward at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Central. It will be right here on Twitch for the podcast. Please don't forget to tell your friends. We're going to be posting videos on YouTube. At the Tater-talks on YouTube for the podcast. And as always, we love you guys. Without the community that we're growing, we wouldn't be able to rise to the goals that we have in the foreseeable future. That's pretty much it. Love you guys. I do apologize. Y'all have a wonderful evening. And lastly,
a soda.
shut up.
What? Bella owes me a soda. We kissed at the same time. We
Yeah,
both
we
kissed
both.
everyone.
Yeah. So here you go.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Thank you again for watching the Tater-talks podcast, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Funny comment. My mic on OBS was disabled for the entire stream, so everyone only heard Cooper on the topic.